Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Shitpost podcast with X09, episode 2. We got with me X. Alright, X, what were you saying?
Alright, so do you remember this was the fall of 2019, one of the last speed events? We had an all shortcuts plus Olmec race between Tic Tac Foe and Meow Mix Mix. It was, by my recollection, the closest Spelunky race ever. Just a hair over a 1 second difference between TTF and
Was that
Meow
the
Mix Mix.
ASO one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Do you
good.
remember the winner of that race?
No.
All right, well, let's watch together. So here you are with Ix and Chocolate Cake on the Chocolate Cake podcast, and we're gonna do a let's watch together of the closest Spelunky race ever. We've got commentary from myself, Ix, former host of Speed Events, as well as Beans, and Cold was on mic, but he didn't say very much. So we're gonna go to the video.
Alright, are you gonna do share screens?
No, just having a. You started the video.
Oh, I guess I could share my screen. Can you see my camera, by the way? I tried turning it on.
Yeah, I can't, but we'll just sync and watch at the same time and bring it with our commentary to you at the home audience.
Wait, I wanna figure out if I can actually use my webcam on Discord.
Should we go to a sponsor while we're working this out?
No, it's cool. Alright, let's just watch it, whatever. Okay, I'm gonna share screen. Right here. Go live. Oh yeah, that's good for the frame rate. Alright, let me see. Let me just adjust this to display capture on OBS.
All right, so just in case anyone in our home, we got an echo going on.
Exactly tired.
Disaster.
Oh man, neck and neck.
Keep in mind these videos aren't perfectly synced,
All right.
So I'm actually not entirely sure who is ahead right now.
That's okay. There's two X's. Where to love.
It's so close. They're pretty close to me.
All right, so just in case anyone's just tuning in, we've got a nice trip down memory lane. This is what I believe is the closest Spelunky race ever. It's between Tic Tac Foe and Meow Mix Mix. So they both died around the same time.
A little bit more of a
had to reset on the
Meow was probably more practiced
Olmec split of ASO, and now we're going to enter the Olmec fight.
So.
Also still synced.
Yep.
Oh, another close moment.
Oh my gosh, TTF.
Oh
okay, both into Olmec at roughly the same time.
Yeah, TTF messes up
is the bomb
one of the
advantage,
top bombs.
But it's tight.
Spoilers.
Ooh.
Close.
But he's still got 2 bombs left.
This is just like one small mistake will make the difference.
Does a little bit of the Stu-NATO action there.
For Meow, it gets that next level down.
Oh, the snail.
Spawns.
Oh my god.
TTF does not get the top bombs. He's
Yeah,
going to
so
use
they
the
were
bottom,
just about a minute out of sync. Sorry, a second out of sync, and
Ooh,
that made it a little bit less clear about who was going to win this thing.
Using his ropes.
Okay.
Oh.
Nice
Oh,
bomb
you
toss,
got the
double bomb
timing.
toss.
Ooh.
Out of there.
Oh my god.
In
We're
the
gonna have
dark.
to check the time.
TTF's got it by his
Oh, a second.
Oh
I
man.
can't listen to myself in an echo.
Stuff. Great race by both
It's
riders.
hard to think when you can hear
for
yourself.
both of them.
Yeah, here, I'll mute it. That was a close one.
So yeah, one of the closest. I'm still hearing my own echo. It's a highly unpleasant experience.
Find someone
if
who
anyone
looks
is-
at you the way X looks at Meow.
So if anyone is thinking about coming on as a guest on the Chocolate Cake podcast, just know that he will submit you to some audio torture by listening to your own voice.
Yes. Alright, back to full screen webcam.
Are you streaming this?
No, I'm just recording it. So how you been?
Alright, I can't hear myself anymore. Life is good. It's very busy. We're deep into the winter months of the pandemic in the northern hemisphere. Things are getting a little scary.
Yeah.
There's some light at the end of the tunnel with new therapeutics and also a couple of vaccine candidates.
Therapeutics.
Therapeutics. But yeah, we still have a ways to go. I hope everyone is socially distancing, wearing a mask when it's not possible to socially distant, trying to move as many activities outdoors, if at all possible, cutting down on any discretionary interactions, again, if at all possible. Stay safe, everyone. Well, this has been another successful episode of the Chocolate Cake 5000 podcast. Any last words from our host, Chocolate Cake 5000?
No, this is an ending. Let's watch something else.
All right. Have you seen Cobra Kai?
No.
Just do like a couple episodes right now.
Alright,
so
I don't think that would work on YouTube. You know what we could talk about? Have you seen American Horror Story?
I have not.
I have so much to say about that show.
All right, let me give you the sales pitch for Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
So, of course, there's a ton of nostalgia. Most of it comes from the first Karate Kid movie. So, the producers of the show recognize that even though there was more than one Karate Kid movie, most people only saw the first one, which is the right choice. So, again, all the nostalgia is from like Mr. Miyagi and the events of the original movie.
Yeah.
But it also stands on its own. It's legitimately well written. The two actors for the main villain and the main the Karate Kid haven't done a ton of work over the year, but they are very credible actors. 30 years later. Yeah, it is not a reboot. It picks up the storyline in the 25 to 30 years after the events of Karate Kid. Tony LaRusso, who is the Karate Kid, is now a used car dealer, and the actual main karate is being done by, I can't remember his name, but the evil guy from Cobra Kai, who is reopening the old dojo and inspiring a new generation of fighting Cobra Kai warriors.
Ix, are you ready to feel old? When I watched...
Are you gonna make me do the math on when Karate Kid came out?
When I was, Wait, let me look up Karate Kid release date.
I'm sure it's the 80s, so I've been using pretty loose numbers, but 30 years.
Alright, so the remake with Jaden Smith came out June 11th, 2010, and I was 12.
8.
I was 12 when I saw the Jaden Smith version, and I haven't seen the original.
I was out of college when the Jaden Smith movie came out. I did not watch it. There's also a Hilary Swank movie. I think that's Karate Kid 3. I also did not see that movie.
Was she the Karate Kid?
She was a Karate Kid.
Interesting. You know what? I was thinking, since everything is being rebooted, what if they made, like, Home Alone 7? With Macaulay Culkin as the dad? Would you watch that?
I'm compiling a list of holiday movies to watch now. Home Alone has come up a few times in the broader brainstorming, but it's never made the list of even the nominees to watch. So it's one step away. Would I rewatch, or would I get back into it if there was new content? I don't think so. I'm not sold on Home Alone needing another movie.
Have you ever seen Skyfall?
The James Bond movie?
Yes.
Yeah. It was the best of the Daniel Craig movies.
Do you remember at the end? Oh wait, was it Skyfall or the next one where he sets up all the booby traps like Home Alone?
That's Skyfall.
Yeah.
Is that the old Bond, whatever that family name actually was, his childhood home?
Yeah, and he had like was the leader of the MI6's mom?
Home Alone is just or James Bond is stealing from Home Alone?
Yes.
Is that the idea?
I think Daniel Craig tricked us into watching Home Alone 7.
Do you think Daniel Craig is Macaulay Culkin grown up?
I think that's not a possibility that we should rule out.
All right, I'll buy that.
I'll buy that for $1.
Other than that Home Alone takes place in New York, implying that the child in Home Alone, who was left home alone, is American, and that Skyfall happens somewhere, I believe, in either the English countryside or Scotland. By the way, your viewers are going to get me for not knowing precisely where Skyfall takes place, but
yeah, my viewer is going to be really mad.
Yeah, other than that slight geographic discrepancy, I think you're onto something.
Yeah, I don't think there's any change.
Let's talk more James Bond. So, my favorite James Bond was in mostly not very good movies, except for the best James Bond of all time, and this is Pierce Brosnan in GoldenEye. So, I watched it recently, so not even nostalgia about the video game. It's a really good Bond. I like the Bond women as well, and I like the villains. I think that's held up pretty well.
I'm not too well versed in the Bond lore of the earlier movies, but I have dim memories of watching Casino Royale when I was young, and my dad would he really liked
the early James Bonds.
Yeah, Casino Royale.
It's probably like 2010 as well.
Yeah.
So the original James Bond movies were in the 60s. That's what I usually think of when someone says the older James Bonds. I don't think of things after we survived the 2000 glitch.
Yeah, the Y2K Dilbert episode.
So wait, you were born after GoldenEye. So that's truly a relic.
Wow.
That's like 95.
Yeah. I remember, I think it was Ocarina of Time was released in the year 2000, and that was like one of the first games I played. And I think,
as a podcast host, are you following up with asking your guest what his earlier
yes, what was your first game? Or? Was it Space Invader?
So the earliest Nintendo game, the first Nintendo game I played was Metroid, and it's way too difficult of a Nintendo game to get started on. Prior to that, I played a bunch of games on an Atari ST, not the console that you might be familiar with, but they actually used to make home computers. And the Atari ST was interesting because it was the first affordable home computer that had dual disk drives. So you could have one disk drive for your operating system and one disk drive for the games, and it made it much easier to subscribe to video game magazines, get demos of new games. That's where I first played Rogue, which, if you are interested in Spelunky, is one of the inspirations for the level generation being random and such.
It also uses ASCII art, right?
It is purely text. So every item, enemy, and location of rooms is a single text character. Empty space is either blank space or periods, and enemies are various letters and items are different letters. But Yeah, that was a game that I played even before I could read. Rogue was one of them.
Have you ever played Candy Box?
I've played Candyland.
Ah, that's an ASCII art game I've played.
Okay.
I think that's the only ASCII art game I've ever played. It's pretty good.
All right, so both Stuoid and Xanagir are complaining that I called and hung up on Stuoid, and also Xanagir is concerned that I called without giving any warning, and that there was no explanation for why I never followed
We
up
should
with text.
invite them as special guests.
Well, it's certainly an opportunity for the next episode of Chocolate Cake
No, wait,
5000.
I haven't talked to you in so long. Come on.
All right, you have 3 minutes of my time. I'm gonna actually start a countdown.
Yeah,
Set it
turn
up on
the
my
sand
phone.
in the hourglass. Alright, so the first computer game I ever played was
3 minutes.
somewhere in the 2000s. I was playing Bob the Builder on the computer, and we had this mouse with like a ball in the middle that you could roll,
Trackball. Yeah.
and you would move the mouse with like the ball, and I thought that was so cool. And it was huge too. It was like a giant ball.
So you move the pointer with the trackball. Got it. Have you ever played Number Munchers?
I have not played Number Munchers.
How about Oregon Trail?
I have played Super Amazing Wagon Adventure.
Is that just a ripoff?
Yes.
Are you going east instead of west?
There's a part where there's a waterfall that you can swim across, or you can jump over it, and if you jump over it, you go into space.
Okay, that sounds like a fitting extension of the concepts originally explored in the Oregon Trail.
There's also a part where you shoot a bunch of bison for like a minute, and you kill like 100 bison.
Yeah, so in Oregon Trail, you could go hunting for necessary food supplies, and you could kill bison, which would give you hundreds of pounds of meat, but you could only ever bring back maybe it was 100 pounds was the cap, and so pretty wasteful. And
I mean, it's true to form, I'm sure that's what it was like back then.
All right, so we have about 90 seconds left. What do we want to leave the audience with?
All right, Spelunky HD. We had co-op, all journal entries. We had ASO races, and with the future of late game shenanigans like Cosmic Ocean, where do you think the meta is going to evolve?
For cooperative speedrunning, competitive. So my hope is we have something comparable to HD's cooperative all journal entries. My ultimate dream would be one runner goes Volcana to Temple and gets the alien compass, for example, and then goes to the mothership, and both of them try to head as deep as possible. One of them goes to Cosmic Ocean, the other one peels off, again, ideally doing some sort of eggplant run, possibly spending more time at Madame's, dealing with some of the non-player characters like Sparrow and completing that quest. But yeah, that's the dream. I don't know if the single seed multiplayer, the web experience for the in-person is as interesting from a competitive speedrun, but I'm happy to be proven wrong. Anyways, that's our lightning round with Chocolate Cake, and I want to thank everyone for
coming out,
for having me on. And should we play them off?
Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da.